before, my friend, but I don't know if you know who I am. When I was there and I saw what you did, I saw it with my own two eyes. So you can wipe off that grin. I know where you've been. It's all been a pack of lies. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, and I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Well, I remember, don't worry. How could I ever forget? It's the first time, the last time we ever met. But I know the reason why you keep your silence up. No, you don't for me. 'Cause the hurt doesn't show, but the pain still grows. No stranger to you and me. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, and I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, I can feel it in the air tonight. Oh Lord, oh Lord.
Hey, all. Oh, hey, guys. What a great day. Holy cow. Oh, thanks. Holy cow. Hi, LFT. How are you? LFT? LSD? Hi, Ange. Matt. Congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. Missy, how are you? Kelly P, Rose, Pointer, Butterfly Kisses. You guys, thank you so much for flooding the chat. Kelly, thank you for flooding the chat with orange hearts. God. Yes. Justice for Rachel is. Hey, are you there? Oh, she might not be there yet. Okay. God, thank you so much for flooding the chat with orange hearts. Oh, Stephanie, no problem. It was an honor, believe me. 46 minutes, right? Hell yeah. Oh, Pointer, thank you. Oh my God, I have so much to talk about. I have so much to say. And hi, Nicole. God, first, I want to say thank you to every single solitary one of you who has supported Decipher, who has supported Matt, the Morin family, the children. Thank you so much. Today was for them. Today is not our day. Today is for them. Pointer, thank you. Gosh, thank you. This was expected, but you're still surprised. I'm going to start from the beginning, but I do want to say there's a couple things I want to just clear off the top of my head and just say thank you very, very much for trusting us with the support in Rachel's children, her family, like I said, Matt, us. Thank you just for trusting us. I really and truly, I am so grateful, and so is LFT. Honestly, I have a lot to say, and yet I'm still very, very emotional. So please forgive me. Some people, I'll tell you what made me emotional. It was really kind. Most everyone had left the court. I was collecting some belongings and stuff, and I had a couple people just say some really kind things to me about being Rachel's voice. And yeah, I hope so. Pointer, what are you doing? I hope that you're right. I hope that you're right, because, oh, Missy, thank you. That's so special. Thank you very much. Welcome home, girl. To my other Missy, my Missy in the courtroom, I am expecting your channel to start soon, because you're going to be fantastic. You have so much empathy and so much knowledge. You're going to be great. You do this. You do this. You have our support. We will do whatever we can to help you. LFT, let me know when you're back. The final thing is kind of a funny, and I'm going to take great pleasure in this. And Pointer, thank you. I am not going to appear on Banfield. You couldn't pay me to go on Banfield at this point. And I have things to say. Okay, I'm checking. Hold on. Okay, no worries. Take your time. It's all good. It's all good. Oh, she is a beautiful woman. She is oh, butterfly kisses. Thank you. Where'd that go? She is beautiful. And Pointer, thank you. Guys, really, thank you so much. It has been just an amazing day. But Banfield. So yeah, no, not appearing on there. Thank you for letting us meet our goal, Pointer. That was really super, super cool. I will not be appearing on Banfield. I am actually not a fan. I'm sorry to say. They decided to go in a different direction, and I'm so thrilled for them. I can't tell you how thrilled I am for them that they went in that direction. That'll pay off. And I long for that payoff. 2 thumbs up. Oh, never ask a question you don't know the answer to. So let's talk about today. Right off the bat, Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez is guilty as charged. 1st-degree premeditated murder, super important there. 1st-degree rape, 3rd-degree sex offense, and kidnapping. 'Cause yes, hitting a woman over the head and dragging her 150 feet into a place of concealment is kidnapping. Mr. Sawyer Hicks. Today is a great day. So let's go through today because it was if I hadn't been there to witness it, I wouldn't have believed it. So first up, it's the final day, and hi there, Nature Rocks. Lavina, God, it's good to see you again. You guys are just the best. Thank you for coming in here. So Victor has had a fair and impartial jury, and the state's attorney, the entire team, put together an airtight case of good police work and hard evidence, not circumstantial, good police work and evidence. And God, it was a pleasure to watch her. It really was. This morning, they began at 9:10. And it was interesting because the jury wasn't supposed to be there until 10:30. So I'm glad I got there early. I got some messages from some folks, and they were saying, should we go at 10:30? And I said, I'm going to go early. I'm going to go at normal time, and in case something happens. And something happened. Hi, JC. Yay. Good to see you. You were here from the beginning as well. So we went in, and there was some stuff that happened. Honestly, it was just about instructions for the jury and what they were going to have and not going to have, and no big deal. A little back and forth there, but nothing crucial. Then Victor was asked if he wanted to take the stand. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that, though. You being here means a ton then, because I know this is hard for you. Victor was asked to take the stand. Who wants to guess what his answer was? Bueller. Through his interpreter, he said, no. And I said, oh, big surprise, little man. So that was, whatever. So then the defense had the opportunity to call their witnesses, right? Nada. Yeah, no. That's what he said. No. And we were like, oh, shocker. So the defense brought forth their one witness, who was Miss Megan Waltmeyer. I don't know if I talked about her yet, but she is the, let me get her proper title and stuff. She is a forensic digital, just say genius. Okay, let's just call her a genius. Forensic digital genius. How about that? She's the one who took Rachel's phone and rebuilt it. She did a hell of a job. Heather is the one, I believe, that got Victor's phone and took care of, sorry, I'm trying to make sure I have the two girls right. They actually look very similar. Beautiful women and both incredibly brilliant. Forensics data examiner. She has 8 years. She's a sworn officer, a civil officer, and she's had 6 years in the lab, and she's part of the forensic team. And she has more certifications. I have them all listed here, but we don't have that kind of time. I mean, if there's an award for what she's done, for what she does, she's achieved it and then some. She's even achieved things that she wasn't involved in. I mean, she's just awesome, right? So they brought her up on the stand, Megan Waltmeyer, and we heard from her last week, and they went through her, her resume again, and she built, you rebuilt the cell phone, yes, and you're certified in Cellbrite, yes, you're in digital forensics, yes, you rebuilt Rachel's phone on 8/8, she downloaded the information, yes. Could you see and analyze the data? Uh-huh. Yepper. She produced the report with the user data. Now, the user data is what you type into your, no, not what you type into your phone. I'm sorry. Your applications, your calls, your health apps, all the things that are in there that you use. She downloaded all that information. Can anyone make changes to a web search once the report is done? No. She did the report. Did you export the web history? Yes. There were 6 items. And she had a search bar, the URL, what time and date it was, and what was in, what the person was looking up on the phone, right? And there was a couple of things on there. I didn't go through all of them, and I won't. But one of them was how to tell if your partner's relationship status can be seen from other folks. Guys, that was it. that was it. That was all. That was their one shot. That was their witness. Great witness, by the way. However, the questions. So cross, the state takes it. And of course, Divine Allison says, can you tell who typed it in the phone? Well, no, I don't know who typed it. We got a verdict. Guilty on all charges. Guilty on all. So we don't know who typed what into Rachel's phone. We don't know if one of her kids typed it, if Richard typed it, if the guy in the grocery store grabbed her phone and typed. Who's to know? We don't know. So the jury comes in a little, I would say, I don't know if I wrote it down. Oh, I'm sorry. 10:43. Victor is asked if he wants to take the stand, and he's remained silent. So it wasn't long after that that the defense started. They asked their questions, and at 10 or 11:22, the defense rested. I mean, I was good with it, but I kind of looked around like, I'm not sure what we're doing here. And then there was a sidebar. And we had a little break, whatever. And then closing started at 12:17. And this is where I told you guys that opening statements with Allison Healy, state's attorney, was just so impressive, and how she delivered it. And it, I actually got an opportunity to talk to her today for a good bit of time. And she was so kind. And she told me that she listened to our podcast because she wanted to actually get an outsider's perspective. She didn't want somebody that, knew anything, not related to the case or anything. And she wanted to hear, what an outsider was thinking of the case. And so she said she listened to our podcast. I can tell you that over the weekend, she worked over 21 hours, 12 hours one day, 9 the next. She was insane working on closing arguments. So she has listened to our podcast, and she wanted to hear somebody impartial and just kind of what they thought. And remember I told you guys, like, she's not really theatrical. She's so well spoken that she's very direct, and everything she says is interesting. There's no fluff or pretty words, or everything is important and everything is interesting, and you want to listen because God forbid you're going to miss something, right? She has a lot to say. She had a lot of evidence. And we talked about her 9 binders. And she didn't even use some of them? Didn't even use some of them. There was so much information in there they didn't even need. I love that. So closing was very much the same. A lot of, direct information given about the case. Now we're reviewing everything and all the things we've learned since the opening arguments. So they show a picture of Rachel, and she goes back. If you remember, her opening statement was titled A Mother's Nightmare. And I didn't really know what to expect with that. And she is absolutely amazing. I know. Me too. You need to start that channel. You need to go back and listen to what I said. So I wasn't sure if she meant Rachel's mom or Rachel. I didn't know, but that was okay because she certainly cleared it up today. I have something in my eye. Sorry about this. So she goes back and she talks, she has a beautiful picture of Rachel, which is her missing photo. And she said a mother went to the trail. And she was attacked in a horrific, violent way. And her boyfriend and her daughters were very concerned when they didn't hear from her. There were texts that were sent and received, and then all of a sudden they're stopped being delivered, and they stopped, she stopped responding. And that's when, when the no response and unread started happening, that's when everyone got worried. And, we're just going to backtrack a little bit here. And I know, me too. Oh, no worries. I'm actually not related to the family. I'm just a friend. You did? Oh, I love hearing that. That's really cool, Callie. That's really, really cool. I'm not related to the family, just a friend. And I did make some really good friends in that family. And I'm really excited about that. And it's not due to tragedy, it's done based on faith and truth and all good things. And I look forward to those friendships. So let's see. Richard went to. Actually, I'm going to stop for a minute because I'm going to tell you a story. She meant Rachel. She was. Yeah, she mentioned it about a mother never seeing her children again. That was the nightmare that she never got to wake up from. So it was about Rachel. I think when I was writing so much, I might have missed that, Matt. So I appreciate you clearing that up because I agree it was, but today it was really brought home. I told you about all the awesome ladies that I met in the courtroom. There's Donna. There's Nicole, Missy. I just got to meet some incredible women who came to support Rachel, her family, the community, whatever. But I got to meet someone new today, and I wasn't going to say anything. But I am going to say something because it was a delight. I got to meet Richard Tobin's mother, and I talked to her for a good hour. I talked to her all morning. Boy, is she cool. She's an amazing lady. And she had to listen to some awful, awful things that the defense said about her son. And y'all know how I am. I would have gone over the table on somebody. And she wanted to, but she was so classy and lovely. And I got to meet her and speak with her, and we're going to have coffee and just hang out one day. Unrelated to anything having to do with her son or Rachel or anything like that. But it's just the courtroom, I said earlier, was the devil was in the courtroom. He sat at the defense table. He was most certainly in that courtroom. But there was so much love and light and good that the light takes out all those shadows and the darkness. And there was so much compassion and love in the courtroom that spiritually, I felt more there in that room than I have felt in any church. It was just super cool. Yes, boy, is she is just all the things classy. And she sat and listened to a defense team say some horrific, horrible things about her son and try and pin a murder on him. Now, we know if it were me, I'd be wearing bracelets tonight and not cute ones. Not her. She sat back there, very classy, and took it all in. Now, I'm not saying she probably didn't slash some tires somewhere or wanted to, but she acted like a complete class act. And that was not easy. It wasn't easy from an outsider to hear. As a mom, they're trying to pin this on her son. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. It was awful. It was awful. But she was a pure delight. So she too is a victim of this crime. She, she was there that night and actually she wasn't there that night. They drove back, but she was involved just as much as other people. And when your child is involved in hurting the way that Richard has been hurting, you're a victim of Victor's crime as well. So we want to send our love to her and our full support on anything she needs. I'm really lucky that I had that opportunity to speak to her today, and I got to hug her. And she said some lovely things. I just wanted to let you guys know that. So when I start talking about Richard Tobin, I want you to keep in the back of the mind that his mom is listening to all of this. And what would you do? How would you react? Hi, Aussie. Okay. I said that to her tonight. I said that to her. Now, here's the thing I'm proud of with Decipher. We heard that Richard had volunteered his phone, volunteered his DNA, volunteered his time, gave answers whenever they asked, did everything by the book, and still got blamed up until today. That ain't cool. That's not cool. Not only does the county owe him, but I certainly think the defense team owes him. Because that was a big part of their defense today, which was ridiculous. And I can't wait to get into that to tell you, because I listen, I don't understand. So back to Allison's closing statements. She talks about how the kids were worried and there was no way that she was still out there because, hi, Delina, because, oh, amen, Missy, a freaking men. Because Rachel was afraid of the dark, so she wouldn't be out past dark. So Richard sees her car at the trail. It's locked. I told you his line of thinking was similar to, oh God, I hope she's cheating, because that's a terrible thing. But you can't imagine what really, you don't want to go to your worst fear. You want to go to, oh God, I hope she's cheating. So from there, he goes back to, huh?
I said that's something like in his mind that was easier for him to deal with. He's like, she's cheating. Okay, I can handle that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I can deal with that.
Yeah, well, the livable versus the unlivable circumstances you create in your own mind. So he goes back to Rachel's after. So he went to the trail, and then during the time, he also went to a few different bars in the area, walked in, looked around for Rachel, didn't see her, goes back to Rachel's home and decides they need to call 911, which he does, and Deputy Carr comes to take the report. They deploy drones. The kids, friends, Richard go out to the trail. They start looking. Detective Maddox gets the initial email. Now, Matt informed us the other day that Detective Maddox doesn't really take, he doesn't check his email. Who checks their email at 3 a.m? Who does that? Nobody. And you shouldn't. But he did. And to his credit, Maddox said, this is concerning. There's a woman out there in the woods and we can't find her. So he immediately calls Detective Golden and says, dude, you're the guy up. Get in the office. Golden's in the office within an hour. He starts working on the case immediately. They call Richard in. They pick him up and they interview him. Again, Richard is incredibly cooperative. Let's all keep that in mind. Given his DNA, phone, whatever they ask for, he's given it over. So then they show a picture of the parking lot with Rachel's car in it. They tow her car. And when they get back to the shop, or their lab shop, whatever you want to call it, they find receipts in there from Wawa and Target. And they kind of move on through the timeline. Independent Brewing Company has a video of Rachel's car pulling into the lot. And we see different videos from where she's walking on the trail from home cameras and etc. For 5 minutes after she's seen walking past this house, there is no response from Rachel any further. So a day later, the morning after, Evan and Cece decide, after seeing a Facebook post, they're going to go out and look for her. So they go to the William Street lot and they walk down the trail and they begin to look for Rachel. They're looking in the woods. They're, wherever. Cece notices what she and Evan call a deer trail or a deer path on the right-hand side as they're going towards 24 from William Street. And again, we're going to show you all of these maps. All this stuff's going to be put up. And we've got it all. We have it all for you. And as they're going down the path, Cece notices some blood. And so she remains back, I told you, at the thorn bush. Now, at the thorn bush, you can kind of see the left, but you can clearly see the right tunnel, okay? It's kind of...
I've got the image.
It's kind of blocked a little bit. Yeah, you can put it up. That's cool. She remains at the bushes, and Evan goes past the pricker bushes to the entrance of the tunnel, and he freezes. And he's there for, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever. Cece says, "Are you okay?" And he says, "We found her." Immediately, Cece dials 911 and lets the police know that they found her. He describes seeing the trail as if someone had taken a toothbrush and flicked, like when you take the brushes of your toothbrush and it kind of sprays out. That's what it looked like, with blood all over the bushes and the leaves, etc. Sticks, whatever. He's very distraught. Sorry. It's just like a lot of, they notice the blood on the rocks. There's a water bottle. And police, they get in touch with police. Police start their investigation immediately. They collect DNA from the rocks. There's hair. So many pictures of the rocks, etc. Police find Rachel's shoe on the left side of the tunnel. And blood outside the tunnel in the, on the rocks. They go in, they find blood on the wall, hair, just an enormous amount of damage, spatter. It was a lot. It was a lot. Those pictures were shown again today in court. There were pictures. Some of the stuff I don't even want to talk about because it's just, I don't want to leave you with images like that. Just know that it was bad. They know that Rachel was dragged on the path because there was scrapes on her back and DNA was taken from the scene. She was drugged by her ankles and her wrist. There was bruising. And she was 24 feet in the tunnel to her feet, 28 to her head. Her Apple Watch was found smashed. Her phone was found 200 feet away from her. Her AirPods were found in the tunnel. And her head wound had a 6 by 6 inch gash. That's how it was described. I will tell you that I was not there for the autopsy photos. And so I didn't really see that gash. I saw a quick picture of it, and then I kind of looked away. I didn't really want to see that. But today I saw the autopsy photo of it. And there's no mistaking the damage that was done to her. She had petechiae in her eyes. And there was just internal damage, external damage, her throat. There were defensive wounds. It was substantial defensive wounds. She had broken ribs. The way that Matt explained it to me is there was more damage done to her than there wasn't done. You know what I mean? She had less spots that weren't damaged on her body than there were not damaged. She had brain bleeds, micro and macro temporal. She was unconscious. I thank God for that. I thank God for that. But that does bring me to another point, which I don't even know if I want to say it, but thank the Lord she was unconscious. He left her after doing all the damage and raping her. No, honey, you wouldn't want to see that. It's awful. He left her to die. He just left her there. And he went on his merry way. Now, go back a little bit to Kyle Stacy, the gentleman and his girlfriend that were walking their dog and saw a man in a gray sweatshirt, glasses, his hood up, and a walking stick. And the sweatshirt was very baggy. It was very out of, where'd she go? It was very out of sorts to see this person. And he saw him in the wood. There was a crackle of a branch or something, and he looked up and he saw this guy, and it made him very, very uncomfortable. So he hightailed it out of there, basically. He just kind of grabbed his girlfriend and, they kind of beat feet. Now, in the meantime, at the switchback or S curve that we always talk about on the trail, there she is. Hi again.
Sorry, I don't know what I've done. I tried to share, and I guess I clicked something, and then it said I blocked myself from streaming or sharing.
Oh.
I'm going to try it again. Just keep talking. I was just trying to show the tunnel.
So at the S curve there, Kyle and his girlfriend and their dog, they passed Rachel. And to this day, he obviously feels the regret. She was looking at her watch. She had both earphones in. And he remembers looking back at the guy in the woods who now is walking towards the tunnels.
Mm.
So, then she goes through and she discusses how the cell phone, AirPods, and watch give the time. And I am getting so many updates. I'm so sorry. It tells the time of her heart rate, calories burned, which essentially leads to her time of death. All that health data is in her phone, which Megan Waltemeyer rebuilds. From 7 to 7:10, no data is registered. The AirPods are turned on at 6:53, 3 minutes after parking her car. And this is the most important time. And this is what I want you to listen to. Is it 7:06:55? There is no data. The energy burn chart time, which is the calories burned, tells a story. And in Rachel's chart, you see her, it's in the hundreds, and she's burning energy, and her heart rate is good, and she's working out, she's doing her jog, and it shows her active and her resting energy. Again, 7:06:35, 13 seconds at 7:08 or 7:07 to 7:08, 13 seconds after the AirPods dropped. And the active energy is now below resting. 7:07:44, there's a fight back because our heart rate goes from normal to 263. And then as fast as it goes up, it plummets.
It is pretty interesting. I'm really glad they shared that chart and stuff in court, because when you see it visually, when you've got something like that you can look at, as the DA and as T is talking about it, to see it visually and to see a peak and a drop, it's another thing that really helps paint a picture.
Well, our heart rate was in the 100s. Then it went to the 190s. It was 263. And then it was down to 69. Just like that. She's unconscious. He takes her to the tunnel where he rapes and murders her. Tiffany Keenan does serology DNA, and I am working desperately on this DNA chart. I promise you, I really am. We're going to put this out come hell or high water. I worked on it all day yesterday. It's the items that were what?
Oh, I didn't say. I just had a tickle in my throat. Sorry.
The items collected, the DNA was tested against the people, and then all the items. So I'm trying to get all that together. Here's the bottom line. The DNA had two contributors, one major male and one female. Here's what's interesting about that. On Rachel's body, on her body, you would think that her DNA would be the major and Victor's would be the minor, but not on Rachel's case. Victor was the major DNA, while Rachel's was the minor. Guess who was excluded? Hey, Steffa.
Richard Tobin.
Yeah, totally excluded. All the way through. There was no mistaking that Mr. Tobin had nothing to do with Rachel Morin's murder, other than trying to help find her. Hi, Kathy P. Kathy Yip. Throughout the entire thing, there was one unknown number one male. That's what Tiffany Keener called him. Unknown number one male. They swabbed wrists, and there was two contributors, a major male and a minor female. Rachel was the minor female. Richard was excluded. There was an unknown number one male. On Rachel's breasts, there was a major male and a minor female. I think you get where this is going. Richard Tobin was excluded. The unknown male number one was still the major, Rachel being the minor. Her Apple Watch had a major female finally on her own products and a minor male. The minor male was unknown number one. Finally, after YSTR testing, number one unknown male could not be excluded from the items that were tested. And that was the socks. We'll go through all that. The watch had a partial DNA. Guess who tested and who couldn't be excluded?
Unknown number one,
Guess who was excluded?
Richard Tobin.
Richard Tobin. Harford County got the sheriff's. When I say Harford County, I mean the sheriff's office, by the way. So if I forget to say the sheriff's office, it was actually because it was actually the sheriff's office. So sometimes I just say Harford County. They worked tirelessly. They had thousands of tips, or more than 1,000 tips, and consent. I want to say that word loud and proud, by Richard Tobin. All other people who were tested against unknown male number one were consensual.
And ruled out.
Well, you just took the fun out of that. They all consented, they all volunteered, and they were all excluded except one Hispanic male in his late teens, early 20s. And a picture of Victor and his cousin was put up. The picture was the one with the yellow hat. You guys know that one. That was used to find Victor and compare when they found him. And they go through and they talk about how Victor contacted his aunt through Facebook. He needed a place to stay. And so he went to stay in Temple Hills, Maryland. That was in December of 23, and he stayed there for about 5 months. He also stayed in Alexandria, Virginia with his cousin Tanya Monday through Friday. And then he spent the weekends in Temple Hills with his cousin and his aunt. And one day he left without warning. He left most of his belongings and just took a couple of things. The FBI went to speak. Now, how the hell did the FBI get there? Good police work. That's what. They went down and they found Jose Ivan Hernandez and they spoke with him. Now, the other Hernandez, Victor Martinez Hernandez, was outside doing laundry, and he knew that the FBI was there asking questions. Jose took the card, the FBI's, the card that they left for him to contact, etc., was left on the couch that Victor was sleeping on. Victor took that card with him. Then we have Victor's phone number. Anybody want to call it? It doesn't. I don't think it's going to work. Don't do that. He left clothes in a closet and he left clothes behind the couch. And they took those clothes to compare DNA from those clothes to the crime scene. They had 5 socks, dirty. They took swabs of those, his Fila shoes, the ugly sweatshirt, and they ran DNA. The YSTR, which is the male DNA, was compared. Did you know what happened? That was the moment that Victor Martinez Hernandez became the unknown male number one. It was consistent with the major contributor at the crime scene. His Fila shoe was swabbed. There were 2 major males. Victor could not be excluded. The ugly t-shirt or the ugly sweatshirt, there were 3 contributors. Victor could not be excluded. Well, you know who could? Everybody else. Every damn buddy else could be excluded except Victor. The YSTR, the male DNA, the one handed down from father to son, remember I told you guys about that, was consistent. All others were excluded. Golden now has a name. He has DNA and a name. But what he doesn't have is a location. And when on the stand, they said, "Did you know where Victor was?" And he said, "We had zero idea." I will never forget that. We didn't know a thing. So they pinged his phone on June 14th. And it came back as Tulsa, Oklahoma. How they got his phone number was from Tanya, the cousin. And he had given Tanya and Jose also gave a Facebook name. The Facebook was still active. The Facebook number was Victor's number. They ping the phone. It comes up in Tulsa. They get a warrant, and the gorgeous, brilliant, badass Officer Delmont takes her happy little car right over to Los Dos Amigos, and they find Victor at the bar. Victor gave the wrong name 9 times. 9 times on her body cam, he gave the name Juan Carlos. Now, he's already given so many other names, and I'll get to that in 1 second. Finally, he admits to Sanders that it's him. They ask him about a phone. He doesn't have one. He finally gives in and gives Sanders the password. They get in, and Heather Marsh is the one who goes through his phone. And I told you on his phone, he has search things like Bell, Air, Morin, Rachel, murder, killer. All those things are on his phone. So then we backtrack a little bit, and we're doing some dates here. And she talks, Allison talks about how Victor worked at Popeyes in Bel Air. He started on 6/17 of 23. But he took 2 breaks between 6/17/23 and December 23. We know it's December because December is when he goes to Temple Hills. His crusty teeth, I know. Ugh, that toothbrush still gets me. We know that he worked at Barrett's on the Pike for less than a month. In the time that he was, while at Popeyes, this is so important. We talked about how he gave Fernando Ishmael as the Facebook name. He gave Juan Carlos 9 times when he was arrested. Guess what name he gave when he was working at Popeyes? Oh, Roberto Campos. This guy doesn't even know his name. So he only worked at Barrett's for a short period of time. He moved down to Temple Hills, and when he was done there, he's gone. He lived with Josue and Marcos for a week in June on Old English Court. They tried to be kind to him. They tried to help him. They wanted to, the word that they used, and I thought it was really sweet, actually. I really did. I don't know how sweet these people are, but I liked the words that they used, and they said they wanted to get him established. And it's not unusual for people like that to help each other, because they're quote unquote family, right? So he moves into a house in Bel Air with Marcos, and he is there for many months before he goes to Temple Hills. No, I lied. Before he gets the hell out of here. That's wrong. That's totally wrong. The house that he lives at in Bel Air is a 10-minute walk from the trail. Now, important things to note. He was in Bel Air from June to December of 23. The crime to Rachel was August 23. He was here.
No, but they shared the paperwork, his application, but I don't think they necessarily looked at an ID.
I have a theory on that too. I do have a theory on that too. And I think, again, that's a matter of we were helping or thought they were. I think they thought they were helping someone. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to say any more. So now we move forward to Heather getting his cell phone, which can, because of course, Victor is denied in the interview with Golden ever being in Maryland. Do you know where Maryland is? No, I have no idea. Never heard of it. Can't even spell it right. Maryland, Marryland. Doesn't know a thing about it. Where, who? But you know what Heather gets? Heather gets his cell phone. And his connections to Wi-Fi put him in Oxon Hill at the Home Depot. No, I'm sorry. Oxon Hill. He searches Google Maps for the Home Depot. We have all of his network connections. And they're here. They're in Bel Air. They're in Tulsa. You know what I mean? They're like all the places that Victor's been. He's connected to these networks. His phone has it. And his phone was only in use for 3.5 months. But boy, that bitch told a story. Also, when Golden goes back, when he's out in Tulsa to interview Victor, they find in the backpack in his bedroom a bus ticket, May 11th and May 12th to Nashville, Nashville to Memphis, Memphis to Tulsa. He's also keeping tabs in his user dictionary. I told you the words he was looking up. He has the FBI card with him. And he's cached images on his phone from YouTube of Rachel and related items. It's a picture of the press release that the sheriff did. There were 7 pictures of Rachel.
And what was the timing of those pictures?
It was all done in a very short period of time, like within a week.
Yeah, but like when they were searching it, when they found it on his phone, when had he been looking?
Only about a week before.
Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting.
It was the Harford County Sheriff, the front of their building, the headquarters there, which is across from the courthouse. So he got to see it in person. So, like I said, he was interviewed by Golden, Ross, and Crespo. Crespo was the interpreter. Crespo worked at the detention center, but went with them so to help them translate, etc. Detective Golden, have you ever been to Maryland? Where? Who? Nope, only been to Texas and Oklahoma. That's it. Texas and Oklahoma. Well, we have your DNA in Maryland. We have your connected Wi-Fi. Your friend, we have your messages to Marcos, the guy you lived with. Nope, don't know. Doesn't know Edith, doesn't know Tanya, but admits to knowing that is him in the picture. Yep, that's me. Well, that picture was taken in Maryland. It can't be. Nope. Nope. His excuse is Fatima from El Salvador planted the evidence because he was never in Maryland. He denied having family. And who the hell is Rachel Morin? Never heard of her. But your phone, don't know. So Detective Golden takes a cheek swab, gets a warrant, gets his cheek swab. And do you know what happened? It was a freaking match. That is what they called a known match. So a known match is something like they did with Richard Tobin and the other gentleman that they tested. That's a known match. So Victor's known match matched everything. Matched the socks. And these numbers. You can't make these numbers up. I told you about these. 340 million more times likely. Partials cannot be excluded. The mixture was more likely to be him by 1.3 quintillion. 380 quintillion. 110 quadrillion. The partial cannot be excluded. The rock in the tunnel was consistent with Rachel and him. He cannot be excluded. His YSTR could not be excluded. This, I didn't really want to talk about this, but because he was charged with rape, I will say it. The swabs, we're going to call them her internal swabs, could not be excluded. So Victor has a problem here because somehow Fatima has planted evidence at a crime scene on, around, and inside Rachel Morin. I'm not really sure how Fatima did that, but nothing could be excluded. So everything that they tested, the blood, all that was, if it was mixed with Rachel, could not be excluded. So then she talks about how the defendant committed this crime. Then she says that what she's going for is first-degree premeditated murder. And there's a whole thing which we will go through on one of these when we go through our laws here. It was so important to get first-degree premeditated instead of first-degree felony. It was important to get all, and it had to do with weapons and being disfigured, and there's a ton of other things. It was just super important to get the highest charges. And they did. I have a note here. It was great. When they talk about how he drug Rachel to the tunnel, that is a separate crime from the murder and the rape. That is considered the kidnapping portion. At that moment, they show a picture of Rachel Morin on the screen, and it was her missing photo, the one at the gym. I showed you guys that. And I have a note. Victor sinks lower in his seat. His shoulders start to drop. No one could hear him because he dragged her to the tunnel. He beat her. He destroyed DNA, or he tried to destroy DNA. He left DNA. He raped her and he left her to die. This is the mother's worst nightmare that she can't awake from. She didn't get to say goodbye to her children. And the most important thing here that Allison said throughout all the things that were said was that Allison isn't really telling the story. Rachel was telling the story. Because he left all that on her. He left the story on her. So we go to lunch. We come back. And I'm not going to lie. I was so like hearing and seeing the pictures. Some of them I had seen, some of them I hadn't seen. It was really hard is an understatement. And I know Matt tried not to look. And I caught him there was one that was thrown up a little fast. And he looked down and he was helping a friend. Don't look. Don't look. And I cried. It was really hard to see those pictures. I'm not going to lie. It's not TV. It's real life. And it was really hard. And everyone went to lunch, and, my little fun group of people, we're going to this place. Come with us. And I said, I can't. I don't want to be around people. But I said, make sure that Matt goes with you, because I didn't want him to be alone. And I got my car and I called LFT and I screamed. She said, are you okay? And no, I'm not okay. I just saw things I can never unsee. I never want people to look at that. But I want them to know that it was severe enough that you never want to look at that. You want to remember Rachel as beautiful as she was. Mm-hmm. Because what happened was more than a crime. There's no words for it. The Emmy has done over 9,000 autopsies, and this one left a mark on the Emmy. Mm-hmm. It was hard. As I stated before, there were more wounds on her, bruises, internal injuries, than there weren't. And that's not being funny. That's the absolute truth. She was beaten beyond with his bare hands, against rocks, against walls, whatever. So after I was done with my hissy fit, which LFT was a total champ and just being a great friend and talking me down and saying all the right things that needed to be said at that moment to get my ass back in there, the defense starts their closing arguments. I am not going to lie. I laughed out loud. I had a little... Me neither, Nicole. It was hard to see those autopsy photos. Oopsie. I missed a back chat one, didn't I? Sorry, man. Oh, okay. Sorry. So this is where it gets good. So I am fit to be tied. I'm angry. I'm disgusted. I just want to hit something really hard. I'm no joke, having a panic attack in the car. We go back to the closing arguments for the defense. And Mr. Jenkins, Marcus Jenkins, is going to give them. And can we skip the defense? No. Because it's even better when I tell you stories later. But so here's the closing defense. Okay, this is what I took. I have to show you this because it's kind of funny. So my handwriting for closing when Allison Healy is speaking is terrible because I'm trying to write down everything she said. I'm trying to write it so fast because she's just full of information. I can't. My handwriting for the defense, you can read every word because I literally couldn't believe I was writing it down. So I'm sitting next to Matt and I got my girls behind me and I'm taking the notes feverishly. And we have an introduction of the team who speaks for Victor, who's going to remain silent, but he was involved in his defense, right? It's a tradition from England. And then we have an entire history lesson about the defense. And how you have to face the government, and the government is forced to prove their case. "200 people started as jurors, and only a select few made it." I feel like we were talking about the Marines here. I really do. Can have sympathy. You have to listen to the evidence. Right is the state side, left is the court, and then there's the flags, and then we have the introduction of facts. And one fact is Victor Martinez Hernandez, I can't even say it without laughing, I really can't, is presumed innocent at the beginning and during the trial. Has the state proven beyond a reasonable doubt? What is the preponderance of, I'm sorry, I can't, I'm trying. Preponderance of evidence, which is the majority of evidence. Is it clear and convincing? Is it beyond? Oh, be honest, he says. Is it beyond reasonable doubt? What does it mean, these instructions? He means the instructions that the jury receives. Now go back. We've been talking for 10 minutes here, and none of it is about the case. Nothing. The state is trying to convince you of their truth. But pay attention. This is going to get good. I will never forget this as long as I live. When he said this next bit, I turned my head, and out of the corner of my eye, I could see Rachel's best friend, and she mouths to me, "What the fuck is he talking about?" And I was like, oh, girl, I don't know. So he says, when you buy a car at CarMax, it has 15,000 miles. Before you buy it, you're going to get the Carfax. If you have reservations, say there was frame damage or whatever, you're not going to trust it, right? That's reasonable doubt. In this case, reservations, and you must have them. I wrote a note, I'm sorry. And he was, okay, oh God, this is awful. I wrote a snarky note here. Jesus. You must have them because he's been looking at you, jury members. I wrote in parentheses, he better get his eyes checked. He's watching you, and he knows that there are doubts. He compliments Allison, but doesn't agree with her. Review your reservations. The state has DNA and video. Whose side are you on, guy? Carfax. In 2023, Richard Tobin reported Rachel Morin missing. He's the boyfriend. 6 feet tall, muscular. He worked out, and he has a blonde beard. Richard's 5'10", and he does not have a blonde beard. Okay. He says he can't contact Rachel because her phone must be smashed. His girlfriend is missing. No one found the items. It's like her phone is smashed, he says. How does he have insider information? He doesn't. He was saying it in this context of the court, not at the time. He didn't say it was smashed. Kyle Stacy saw a man in the woods, and he mentioned that the state mentioned the guy in the woods is the one who attacked Rachel. Okay. He was on the Monpaw Trail with their dog Oakley. Kyle and Oakley and his girlfriend. Kyle was spooked. He was terrified. He says Richard has a blonde beard again. Because this is what Mr. Kyle Stacy saw. Actually, what Mr. Kyle Stacy saw is a picture about that big. And I don't know how many yards away. Victor has a beard, but it's not long. Victor isn't 6 feet tall. So it couldn't be Victor that they saw in the woods. Trying to skip through some of this stuff to move on here. Kyle said it didn't look like Victor, but he did have a walking stick. A walking stick. It was black, 1 to 2 inches in diameter, and had an orange top. They found a shovel 7 days later. She had injury and disfigurement. And the shovel that matches the description. Again, I asked, whose side are you on, dude? Like, you're so helping. Thank you. Their leaves and rocks were brought into evidence, but no shovel. The picture of the shovel was brought into evidence, but not the shovel itself. So that is a conspiracy. Why isn't the shovel present? Because the shovel doesn't have anything to do with it. That's why. Then he goes back to giving instructions. And we go on to jealousy is the motive. Now, where are we going with this? If jealousy is the motive, then we're going to go back to Richard Tobin again, aren't we? The absence of a motive is evidence of innocence. No, Marcus. No. The absence of a motive doesn't mean shit. Sometimes people just do shit because they're dumb. He says, I don't know who he saw, but he didn't see Victor. But I know who he might have seen. Richard Tobin. Might have seen him in the woods. Heard from Waltemeyer that Rachel's searches on the day leading up were searches on relationship. Again, we say we don't know who put those in there. Maybe it was Rachel. Maybe it was somebody else. We don't know. And in big letters, I showed this to Matt that says, the jury does not believe him. Because when Allison Healy was giving her closing remarks, they are leaning forward. They're looking at the screens. They're paying attention. They have their eyes on her. She is their focus, right? They're sitting back. They're looking up. They're rocking. One guy's drawing, literally drawing. And I'm going, oh my God, the jury doesn't believe him. This is awesome. So now we're going on. We have the Carfax. Richard Tobin is the killer. Absence of evidence is evidence. I don't know. We now have Rachel's body is being found. Detective W, hold on. My favorite forensic guy. He calls Tommy Meehan, who's the ME, the field ME, to come and provided a lot, got a lot of the info for DNA. He collected a lot of the data. And he shows the results for the DNA. Didn't we just go through all that? We did. Then he realizes, I think right then and there, oh shit, I just screwed up. So he takes a break and he's got to have a discussion with his teammates. So they huddle up and they talk and they come back and he says, well, the database is a U.S. compiled results. Victor's not from the U.S. What would the numbers look like if they were El Salvadorian numbers and not US numbers? They'd look like Victor still did this. That's what they'd look like. So there's a problem. The collection of data of DNA. Tommy put gloves on and moved Rachel. But you have to be so careful with DNA because it's so easy to transfer, right? You can transfer person to person, object to object, person to object, object to person, whatever. But they have body cam of Rachel being moved outside that tunnel. You know what else they have? Allison Healy, who was there when that was done. They talk about how Keener changes her gloves and bleaches her station and wears PPE. And that's a controlled environment, right? You're not in a controlled environment on a scene. And in the video that they were showing, the screenshot, they weren't touching Rachel. He was saying that Tommy Meehan planted DNA evidence inside of Rachel. Huh? So let's just rewind for a second. Richard Tobin did it. Cool. We got the Carfax for the car with the frame damage. Yeah. Now Tommy Meehan did it. Transferred Victor's. How did he get Victor's DNA again? Where did that come from? Back to the Carfax. You can't take, he says, an expert at face value. Isn't that the reason they're an expert, sir? You have to look at the evidence, he says. Willing to act without hesitation. You have to make that decision and know that this is the decision you're going to make. Like Victor's guilty. If you have reservations, then you have reservations. Victor worked at Popeyes, started at 6/17/23. Worked and didn't use his real name. Again, I'm like, are you kidding? How is this evidence of guilt? He says. He never used his real name. 12/23, 4 months after Rachel. He's at Popeyes and Barrett's and hanging at Chili's, but he wasn't hiding. They canvassed the area. They looked on videos. He's living and working in plain sight. You know what that tells me? He's psychotic. That's what that tells me. He's ballsy. He doesn't give a shit. That's what that tells me. There's ring cams and there's no Victor on any of the ring cams in that area. He went to PG County. Evidence of guilt. FBI came and dropped a card. No evidence of guilt there. Cops come around. He fled, they said. He left items. He took the best clothes with him, but they recovered his cell. They analyzed his cell from Temple Hills and his cell from Tulsa, and the laptop was analyzed. A laptop actually was not analyzed. I'm sorry. He only had the cell for 3.5 months. Rachel was one search. Morin was one search. They had cached images from the YouTube videos, which were pictures of Rachel. We talked about that. 3.5 months. He had 38 gigs on 120. He'd used 38 gigs on 128 gigs. You would think he would search more frequently if he were the killer, right? In a year's time, he rarely accessed this data. At 3:34, he takes another break. They huddle again. And he says, and I wrote this specific, so the Carfax. Gives a list of the info that he believes. Victor has no reason or no motive to do this to Rachel. There is no evidence that he knew her. They never communicated. It's difficult to believe that Victor attacked a random woman and brutally killed her with no communication. Clearly, this is someone who upset her. It's consistent with jealousy. Objection. Well, actually, he said crime of passion there. That's when the objection came in. They had a little sidebar. Disregard that last statement. Kyle Stacy saw the person and gave a description. It's inconsistent with the shovel. Objection. Richard's DNA is not present on Rachel. There's no evidence of Richard on Rachel. She showered. Again, like it's just, we're back to Richard Tobin. I thought it was Tommy. Where's the Carfax? Kyle Stacy saw an individual, a man, not Victor, but he saw a man in the woods. He's asking you to find Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez innocent. At 3:42, there's a rebuttal. And remember how I said Allison isn't really, oh yeah, he's a psychopath, all right. Sure shitting is. Remember how I said that Allison is not theatrical and she's not emotional? Well, she showed me because she got up there feisty as all get out. She was angry and she was yelling at everybody. She talked about the fact that, you know, this whole angle for the photo of what Kyle saw, there was so much stuff. Like, I don't, who knows? I mean, who knows? It was 6:11. The sun was setting. The sun was in that direction. Mr. Stacy is looking into the sun. He only looked for 2 seconds. How can you tell how tall somebody is? The watch, the path to the Liriodendron, and the shovel are all a direct line. The tunnel, the watch, it all leads to Victor. It's no coincidence that it points to Victor because his DNA is there. Now, the storms came through. We had really bad storms for a couple of days right after Rachel passed, and the shovel was out there, and, you know, we think DNA got washed off. She says it doesn't matter. Mr. Meehan didn't transfer DNA. A man who we never met and who was never in Maryland, by the way. Victor's never been in Maryland. How did Mr. Meehan transfer his DNA from wherever inside to Rachel? But the DNA for Victor is all over the crime scene. It's on her watch. It's, you know, on the wall, just all the places. Richard Tobin left the moment before. She had a shower, which, you know, cleans, and then she worked out, which flushes, and she was found 30 hours later. Okay. Richard is, so this is what's interesting and what I thought was really cool how she brought this together. Richard Tobin is at the recovery scene. Why is he texting her? How is he texting her and beating her at the same time? How'd that happen? His DNA was not there. So she just goes through, you know, Golden looked at her social media, and no, Victor and Rachel were never connected in any way because it was a random attack. He didn't stalk her. It was just, what he did, in my opinion, is he stalked the tunnel, found the tunnel, and waited for someone to come in and be the victim. Rachel was that victim. DNA was found inside and around her neck. Every single piece of evidence is Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez. And the jury goes, and it's 4:00, and they have about 10, 15 minutes of instructions that they have to go through, right? She was a victim of opportunity. You're exactly right. So I'm talking to Mrs. Tobin. I'm talking to Allison. I'm talking to I'm sitting in the courtroom. We're all just kind of kibitzing and, chatting quietly. And, pretty much everybody had left and was getting air, what have you. And I was just saying to Mrs. Tobin, I'm going to run to the ladies' room. And as I go to turn, everybody rushes in. Like, there's people coming everywhere. Both doors, all in. We have a verdict. And I look at the clock, and it's 5:00. Now, they just went in at 4, and I know they had instructions for 15 minutes. So I was like, what? And I even said to a couple of girls, I was like, I think I said it to Don, I was like, there's really a verdict? And she's like, yeah, where you been? I'm like, I've been sitting here the whole time. I haven't gone anywhere. At 5:05, the judge walks in. And at 5:07, she asks, what's your plea? What's your verdict? I'm sorry. What's your verdict? And the foreman stands up and she reads, in the case against Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez, guilty, first degree, premeditated murder. Guilty, rape. Guilty, third degree, sexual offense. Guilty, kidnapping. And at 5:08, they poll the jury. Everyone said yes. Everyone smiled. And that was the end of the day. And then we got to high risky business. Then we got to watch the most impressive, coolest thing. A bunch of fellas who were big, broad, and saucy looking fellas with sheriff on the back of their shirts came in. And a couple of them I recognized as fellas who took that little shitball off Con Air. And they arrived in the courtroom, and the courtroom was mobbed with deputies. I mean, there were a lot of deputies. And they all walked down the stairs, and they went to Victor, and they surrounded him, and they turned his little body around, and they put those shiny little bracelets on him. And he wasn't looking as happy as he was on Monday. He was kind of looking disheveled and sad and like, oh shit, reality just set in. And they took him off. And my friend Matt said, as loud as he could, something to the effect of, you don't have that pep in your step that you had the other day. And I just remember going, yes. And he was gone. And that was it. And it was over. And I was collecting my stuff, and I had some nice people say some really nice things to us. I left to myself. And I hugged a whole bunch of really cool people. And I walked out. And to my left, I walked past the family who was gathered together, and they were all talking, and I'm pushing the button, trying to sneak past, because I believe that they needed some time. That was their moment, and they didn't need me tagging along. And I'm standing in the elevator, and, I'm just pouring crying. I'm trying to get it together, right? I'm just sobbing because I'm so grateful that this all just, it was just too much. It was too much. And I'm so happy for them. And I just watched this magnificent thing happen. And I'm in awe and I'm crying. And Sheriff Gaylor gets on the elevator with me. Well, of course he does. So, and I can't remember the other gentleman's name, and I will. He gave the press conference. I'm a moron for not remembering. I do know it. I'm just a jerk, and I can't remember. And I'm just ugly girl Oprah cry. Yeah, the whole snot thing. I mean, it was just awful. I look over at Gaylor, and he's looking at me, and he's like, "Are you okay?" Yeah. And I thought to myself, well, dummy, this is your shot. You've always wanted to thank him. And I did. And I said, Sheriff Gaylor, thank you so much for everything you've done to help that family and for catching Victor. And I looked both of them in the eye, and it made me cry even harder. And I'm trying to get it out. And I'm stuck in the flipping elevator. So mortifying. He was gracious, and he said, don't thank me. Those guys in the courtroom, all the detectives, that team did all the work. And I said, well, Sheriff, I said, that may be true, but every football team has a coach, and the coach gets congratulated as well. And he was so gracious and kind. And he said, thank you for that. And I just said, thank you for making Harford County safe again. And he said, it is safe again. That was it. And I got in the car and I snuck out. And I called crying. And I called LFT and I said, they did it. We did it. He's gone. And I've been elated and excited ever since I went to the trail. And I got to tell a lady there who I recognized that Rachel Morin's killer was guilty. And she was there with her dog. And she said, oh my God, are you serious? And I said, yeah, I'm serious. She said, when? I said, just now. I said, I just left the courtroom. And then I watched him go away in handcuffs. And she said, I know Rachel. She loved my dog. She said I would see her around 6 o'clock every evening. She'd come by here. And she said, I yelled at her one time. I walked up behind her and I tapped her on the shoulders and she had her earphones. And then I said to her, take those damn things out of your ears. She said, oh, I will. And she didn't. But that lady was so grateful to know, because she did know Rachel. And I had seen her before. And she described Rachel, and she just was a doll. She was a sweet lady. But she was really happy to know. And I left the trail, and I said tomorrow I was going to go back and we're going to take some flowers. And we're going to leave them. And we're going to turn that place into something special again. It's not going to be that negative thing that we're all afraid to go to. It's going to be hold on. Oh my God. Well, I'll read it. I'll read it. LFT just sent this to me. If you're like me, I just want to warn you, don't roll your eyes so hard that you give yourself a seizure. On X, the real Donald Trump, moments ago, the illegal criminal who was allowed into our country by the crooked Joe Biden was convicted of a heinous murder of Rachel Morin. Rachel, a beautiful mother of 5 from Maryland, and her life was taken at the hands of a monster who should have never been here in the first place. The fake news should be focusing on the beautiful life and tragic death of this Maryland mother, rather than the so-called Maryland father, who is actually an MS-13 gang member and foreign terrorist from El Salvador. We will never forget Rachel Morin and are committed to protecting women across the country. We will deport illegal murderers, rapists, and criminals. Make America great again. Form your own opinion. I'm not going to give you mine. I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. Hey, Kaz, 22 months. I am not going to make this a political discussion. I'm going to make this an amazing moment that it is, and that is justice for Rachel Morin and Rachel's family. This is now the time where her family potentially, maybe, can begin to heal. And it is our job as a community to surround them and give them that privacy and time that they need. Rachel's kids, fathers, everyone. It's our job to surround them and make sure that they get the privacy that they need, and that Rachel is now spoken of and not Victor. I will speak of Victor once again, and that will be at sentencing. And then I vow and promise to focus on Rachel. It's April 14th, and a year ago today, it was 85 degrees out, and I was helping Matt canvass in Bel Air. And we had canvassed all day, went to a gazillion places, talked to a million people, left a quadrillion flyers at mailboxes and doors. And we decided to sit down on a bench and just have some water and try and collect ourselves before we started heading back the 10-minute walk to where our cars were parked. And the other night we found out the address that Victor was living in. And that address was 450 feet from the bench that we sat at. The house that was directly in front of us, their backyard, is what we were looking at, straight ahead. Hi, Pumpcat. That was a year ago today. I didn't think at that time, I didn't know what to think. Oh, yes, I will. Whoever just sent me this message, will I go to sentencing? Absolutely, I will. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't miss it for the world. We sat there talking, 5-10 minutes, just catching our breath, just from all the walking. We were 450 feet, and he was still there. Didn't leave till May 11th. It was April 14th. Now it's April 14th. And he's on his way to the state pen. And I just want to thank Matt for trusting us and allowing us to help and being our friend and allowing us to be his friend. But more than anything, I want to thank Matt for trusting us. Because Matt went to a lot of different people, and 90% of those people were amazing, and they helped him. Doug McGregor, Tim Papa, Joel from STS. Those are the real ones. Those guys, they didn't just befriend Matt, they helped him. They helped in solving this. But Matt trusted us too. And I'm really grateful for that. Because not a lot of people did. We got called scammers. And that was hard. But tonight I sit here very proud of the fact that we shut it down because I was too afraid to give any help to that defense. I didn't want to talk about Rachel. Once he was caught in June, I did not want to screw up. That's all I could think of is, oh my God, we can't screw this up. This has to go to trial. He has to get convicted. He has to go away for the rest of his life. And I'm proud for LFT and I that we chose morals and Matt over views and clicks. And I'm not bragging. I'm not saying it to brag. I swear to God, I'm really not. I don't pat myself on the back very often. In fact, I don't even make the right decisions very often. But that was a good decision. That was a good decision. And I'm proud of us. Holy crap. Pointer. I will. Thank you. I will. Thank you. I'm proud of us, LSD. In fact, when I got through talking to Matt, or when I got through talking to you at lunch and I got back, Matt said, did you talk to your favorite drug? To our favorite drug. He said, did you talk to our favorite drug? I said, yes, I did. He said, good. It wasn't us. We just got to report on it. We made some really cool friends along the way. And when I said that I wouldn't do another case where I worked with a family, it's not because I don't want to help another family. It's because I don't want to give this one up. We are so lucky and so blessed to know these people, to know Erin and her husband, Dave, and Matt and Shannon. So we are the lucky ones. And I have a lot of people in here like Pointer who didn't give up on us, and Kez and our mods and Mallory and close friends who just said, why aren't you guys going live? Why don't you work in another case? Why don't you do... Just wasn't in the cards for us. This one was. And this was cool. And we got to watch. Actually, to be honest with you, I'm not gonna lie, it was LFT who said, maybe you should look into the girl that disappeared by you. That's really close. And I was like, okay, maybe, yeah. And we started right after she went missing. And we're here today. And Not without fights, not without pulling hair, and not without a lot of love. And now we get to wish Rachel Morin peace. We get to hope that Matt begins to heal, because his life, this has consumed him. That was his word. We get to watch these beautiful children grow up, and we get to help them whenever we want to. Because like I said, it's not that I don't want to help another family. It's just that I don't want to give this one up. Thank you for supporting Decipher. Thank you for being kind to us. Thanks for sticking with us. And we absolutely will work on other cases. But we still have a lot of work to do on this one. We have some holes in the timeline we need to fix. We have some mapping we like to do. And we have some details we just want to tie up. And then that moment's going to come, like it did with Watts. We're going to say, I think we're done. Thanks, Mel. But that doesn't mean we're done with friends and friendships. It just means that we don't have to work on this case. I'm sorry for getting emotional. I'm a little bit messy today, and I'm tired. And I hope Mrs. Tobin has that glass of wine tonight. She deserves it. She doesn't drink. But she said, maybe tonight I'll have a little glass of wine. Mrs. Tobin, I'm going to join you, and I'm going to have a glass of wine before I go to bed. And I'm going to be thinking of you and your son and Rachel's kids and Matt and everyone else that I got to meet that Rachel brought to us. Because really, clicks and views are bullshit. I got friends. I met genuine people, and I got friends from this. You can keep your clicks and views. As much as I want people to understand what happened with Rachel, I won't sell out for it. And I won't do Ashley Banfield for it. That's somebody else's job. My job is here with LFT and doing what we do best and research and support our friends and laugh. And that's something we're going to do a little more often. We're going to do some laughs. We're going to have some silly streams in here. We've been serious and we've done a lot. I think we need a silly stream here really soon. LFT, are you there? She gone.
Hey, I've been here. I'm right here. I've been here the whole time.
Just like the scarecrow. Been here the whole time. Um,
I think it was more important for you to speak, and so that's why I typed in chat. I was not being a bitch or anything. I really was. I just wanted her to be able to talk and paint the picture and this is her story. This is her story to tell, her experience.
it's our story to tell.
Like today, especially, and she deserves to be able to just sit. I'm just impressed and proud, and so I'm happy to watch her do it.
We did it.
Yes, but you did it today, and have been there this week. It was a little bit different for you this time around, so that is.
Matt did it.
Well, Matt did it too, but for the moment, I'm talking about you, and I meant that I'm proud of you, and you did it. I knew you could.
I didn't. I had some doubts along this week. I'm not gonna lie. I had some scary moments.
Told you, regardless of highs and lows, I'm not going anywhere, and we're yelling at sheep to get used to it. But don't think she's right. We do fight like sisters, like hard, and hurt each other's feelings and get mad at each other.
We do.
But yeah, and then we have to. Well, for me personally, I'll just speak on my side for that. But I think sometimes especially when you get in cases, and we were in this kind of situation, and our proximity to it in every way, it's a roller coaster, and it's emotional, and it can get hard, and it will be real, and that's expected. And yes, you're going to have fights and disagreements, but what we have is that means so much more than the fights. You have to eventually, is it worth walking away from sometimes? Like, that's really, you get to that point when you get this deep into things, and you could ask me more to you in the work that you do with that person than the issue that y'all are arguing about. And I think that's just, we've tested each other, and I'm just really proud of her though, because first of all, I knew she could do it, but I knew it was not going to be easy. And I knew she would question herself, and then, drop her phone in the car and do all that stuff. I was like, I was like, I need you to put the damn thing down and go home. Like, and I knew you were going to the trail. I knew immediately you were going there. By the way,
I didn't. That's so funny that you knew. I didn't know.
I knew you were. I knew you would go to the trail.
I had to.
And then I texted her today. I got the message from Matt. And then I texted Tia at 4:57 yelling verdict. And then by 5:28, she's walking on the trail.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad for everyone that she was able genuinely to mean. I mean everything. Sorry, I'm not feeling the super best right now, so please don't misinterpret like my kind of monotone for anything other. It's nothing. It's just me. And I hate that it might come across that way, but I genuinely am so grateful for the people that we've met through this, but especially for Tia and you girls and ladies and gentlemen in the courthouse who have been able to connect and find your own path and meet, and hopefully, that will continue. But it's a lot easier knowing that she and Matt had people around them, because I couldn't be there, unfortunately, and made it easier. It's hard to be this far away when you're so invested in something and you so want to be there, but you just you can't. And I'll tell you one thing though, I'm overdoing like post. I've never heard my phone or my like devices and stuff go off today. Is like even Tia was like, I've never heard that noise before, and I was like,
What is that noise?
I don't get the 1,000 messages and stuff. Like the Twitter updates, like we were going nuts, and then anything I posted there, then I tried to do it in the group, and then it was like the responses, and then questions, and it was just like, and then Tia was like the live at lunch. I was like, go live, I got to finish this because we wrote out. That's probably the most proud tweet I am. Ironically, this one that only got our second most interaction with, but the one where I was mapping out Alison Healy's closing argument or closing statement, I guess, however you would like to refer to it.
Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah, it blew me. Like I just said, I mean, she led a very well orchestrated case and trial, and I condone and support everything that she's done, not only for Rachel and the time and dedication that she's put towards this case, but the commitment that she's made to the other victims, such as family. And I think her delivery was impeccable. She told a story that no one should ever have to tell. And even from what I understand, because we all knew, like Tia, we knew to brace, like she was going to see more images and stuff. And I think, because sometimes, I wonder sometimes for her, and I really do, or for other, DAs or whatnot, or prosecutors, when you are doing your closing argument kind of deal and you're really wrapping it up, like your case and your points up, but you really want to drive home the seriousness and the gravity of what has taken place. And so, how sometimes we struggle with certain things that we share images, like I bet too in the back of her mind she does as well, but I don't know how y'all could have gotten through. I'm so glad y'all survived, and I hope these images are life-changing and we will deal with that as that comes. But I don't think she could have not included those today. I think the way she tied the DNA and everything, and she just left the image of what had been done. This little 4-foot little piece of a wank, what this little piece of shit did.
She spent 21 hours writing that this weekend. And every second of that 21 hours that she spent writing showed.
I was just very impressed, and I wasn't even there, but I did go back and I screen recorded her press conference, and I thought even her answers there are just very tactful and she's very well spoken.
She really
much
is.
More so than I am right now. But like she said about the sentencing and stuff too, like she knows too. She's mentioned, of course, there's going to be like appeal kind of stuff. It always is. Does she think there's going to be an success in it? No, because she knows they have a solid case. So, but it's expected. And then when it comes to the sentencing, which will be in 60 to 90 days, obviously they're going for life plus even more years. But she just was so confident and yet casual and what's the word I'm drawing? What is it? Just approachable, you know what I mean? Conversational and giving you the details. But she just she just drops in just those noteworthy points. Like there's a chance like some of these can run consecutively. And you're just like, okay, like I liked her demeanor, and I'm really impressed with how the state handled this case and law enforcement, because I do like Gaylor a lot.
And I also, I want to say that David Ryan, who is her partner in true crime, did a hell of a job too. Allison is only as good as, every team member, you're only as good as your weakest link. And they don't have a weak link. They are just they're like a machine that just works so well together. They finish each other's sentences, or just class act all the way around. And I don't want to leave him out of this because he
Mhm.
was just as involved and amazing. I just want to answer this question from Carrie really quick.
Mhm.
Is he being sent back to his country? Can you guys hear that? That's thunder. We have thunder. We're having a thunderstorm. That's amazing. That's clearing. It's cleansing. I love this. He is not being sent back to his country. He is an illegal alien. He looks like an alien with a big, fat, ugly head, and he will remain here in our prisons.
Mhm.
And that is because then we can keep an eye on him and know exactly where he is at all times. And
You can't get extradited because you're not, he killed a woman in the States and now we'll stay here. It'll be interesting to see if there's any conversation down the line about what happened in El Salvador, but that is a really good question though, because I do think people kind of wonder about
everybody
that.
asks. I
Yeah.
think it's an important question. But also, like, here's what's important. And I said this to LFT. I think I've said it on here a couple of times too, but this case didn't just hinge on Rachel Morin. She was the most important person in this case.
Mhm.
But there's a little girl in California who's important, and there's a young lady in El Salvador. And those victims hinged on him going for the rest of his life.
Yes. And I saw that, Carrie, as well. I kind of ironic timing. But I'll tell you one thing, I watched more and reading more about Rachel Morin than their meeting. But that's just me personally, and just me being just a petty Betty about him at times. Not on everything, but just at times.
No, I get it. And
yeah.
I'm not going to make, like I said, I'm not going to make this political about any Rachel. She doesn't get not on Decipher. That's somebody else's thing to deal with. We deal with the human, the mother, the friend, the sister, girlfriend, wife, whatever.
Oh, don't worry about it, Carrie. You're fine. No worries at all.
Oh, no. Oh, I wasn't saying that to anyone. Oh, God, no. Please don't take offense.
You're fine.
That wasn't, and I'm not saying that to you. I'm just saying it's been, Rachel Morin has been a political thing, or they've tried.
Sometimes almost kind of, part of a political agenda, but almost as a profit times. We went through the campaign and stuff. So we all expect it. And no, don't worry about it. I do agree, Carrie, because it was just rain. I think I saw that last night with what's his name getting off the plane, and I was like, "Who the hell is that?"
No, Carrie, we're not speaking to you at all.
Yeah,
it's just this has been since day one, and please don't misunderstand. We're not speaking to you about that at all. It's just I have my own thoughts and feelings. LFT has her thoughts and feelings. Hell, Matt has his own thoughts and feelings on it. For me, it's a respect thing. I choose not to make Rachel political. That's someone else's job. My job is to report on the human. And we did that. And we still will. Somebody asked, I think it was Nicole, how did we meet? We met on the internet.
We don't know. We really don't know how we met.
Yeah, we don't.
Literally.
We know we met in we met in a chat and we worked. It's a long story, but we don't really know. We just know that one day we were like,
I asked you one day. I literally asked her one day, and I was like, "Do you even remember how we started talking or what it was?" And we knew like there's a person involved, but we were literally like, "What was why did we start talking though? Like, what was it? Even though, like, what was the first specific thing we were working on?"
Why did I call you back?
I don't even know if you called me first. I could not on my life. I could not tell you what our first conversation like legit was, but all I know is by like Christmas we were on the phone all the time.
We started in October. By Christmas, we were living together. No, I'm just kidding. No, by Christmas, it was just like, it was a thing. It was just a thing. And that was 2020.
Yeah. It's weird, but it's so there are a lot of things I can answer, but that is one where I literally draw a blank. And the funniest is when I asked Tia, and then she went, and then we were both like, no, seriously, what was it? And neither one of us can remember, but we've been fortunate. I don't,
We don't know how we met. We met on the
don't
internet.
know.
We just
I
have
know
remained friends.
I know she has a key to my house.
Yeah, we visit each other. I mean, we go on vacations together. Hi.
Those I gave her those earrings. Are those the ones I gave you?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
See? And the necklace I wore today too.
Oh, you did.
God puts people in your path. Pardon you. God
It's
puts
because
people
she's
in your
talking
path
to
for a
me.
reason. And Delina, that is so true. And
She's another one.
I won't tell you online, but offline, I have stories that happened in the courtroom that God was present for. And it was cool. Let's just say it was really cool. And I got to meet new friends, and I hope to be able in the next month to maybe get all the little girls together that's Dash. That's Dash. I hope to be able to get these girls together and maybe have lunch and just hang out again. I know we're going to see each other at the sentencing. But
Go walk the trail one pretty afternoon.
We could walk the trail. Well, we got to wait for Donna because Donna's not doing so good. She's on a crutch right now. We need to help her. But maybe lunch, and then when Donna's feeling better, we could do the trail. But I definitely want to get together in the next month and just do something fun and lighthearted. And I don't know, maybe we'll have Matt come with us and we'll annoy the crap out of him again because that's fun as hell. Having lunch is delightful.
Better put me in your phone in your pocket.
I will have you with me. You get to go too. Well, hell, you're going to have to
go. I want to go.
Anyway.
If she's going, I want to go. If she gets something, if she got one, I want one.
That's what she says to me all the time. If I have a little refrigerator in my office, in the closet, and I go get special treats. Oh, you would love that. Yay, Donna. I go get treats and I'll like be munching or like working and I'm like munching out. She's like, where'd you get that?
Yeah.
I got it from my
Yeah, like, we'll be in the middle of working and I'll just look up and she's like eating a pudding snack or just like chomping on like rice cakes or crackers that I like. And I'm like, where'd you get that?
Where'd you get that?
What are you eating? No, what are you eating? And then I'm like, what are you eating and where did you get that? And then I'm really terrible at knowing her and going, what are you doing now?
Oh, that's so annoying. But she does it. And then like when I hang up the phone with her, what do you always say to me?
Okay, bye. Text me in 5 minutes.
Message me in 5 minutes.
Message me in 5 minutes.
Message me in 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay, bye. Message me in 5 minutes.
She tells me a story at night, and the story consists of reels of Facebook and IG, just funny things. But she tells a story she picks them out ahead of time. So every night I get a little story. Half the time I fall asleep midway through, so I don't see it until the morning. But LFT does need to come up, and she will, because we need to get the discovery. And since I can't afford to mortgage my house to get the discovery of 9 binders, which did you guys know? She didn't even use all 9 binders. She didn't have to.
But I still kind of put them under glass and just let us see them. Like I just want.
I know.
Like I'm such a dork like that. Like when she was like, "Why the hell do y'all want discovery?" and you were like, "Because we're weird like that." And I know it sounds so strange, but I do. I just like. I know it's done.
Delana says, "I want one too." Then
Delana, Delana, see, and I've been up there. Nicole, what about if one of the times I've been up there, if I passed y'all like walking through town and just didn't even know it?
Didn't even know.
But
when you do come up, Donna, Missy, Nicole. Maybe we can even get Delana to come down. I think that'd be kind of fun
Yeah, I was about to
too.
say Delana doesn't actually. It'd probably be faster if you came to get me and drove back up because you make much better timing than I do. I don't know how she gets to do it. I lived in DC for 8 years and go back and forth to North Carolina. So this is not like a random drive for me. You know what I mean? Going up to Maryland is not something I don't even like to do it anymore because it's not that it's a competition. It's not like a competition, but every time I go, gosh darn it. And it's more.
Do you know one time, I'm not even kidding, the first time she came up, it took her, God is my witness. I am not exaggerating. It took her 12 hours to get home.
That was me getting home.
12 hours. It is a 5-hour drive. I'm looking on Life 360.
I'm low
and I am like, why are you in the middle of Peter's peanut patch? I was like, where are you? And then she finally gets home. And I'm like, are you in the house? She's like, no, I'm sitting in the car. Why?
I was so I couldn't do it. I was like, I live here now.
It took her 15 minutes to get out of the car because she was just like, oh my God, that took so long.
I could not. I've never had it like that. I mean, okay, so Nicole, you get it too. So like, it's 95 and 64. That's it. And I've done it. I have done it from DC to like Wilmington or Wrightsville on a holiday weekend and leave on a Thursday. And it was take me like 6 to 7. It took me 12 hours to get home. That is
not a joke.
The cicadas were out really bad. And remember, that was when my mouth was bothering me. So I kept drinking so much water and I would have to stop. And y'all, I was in the middle of somewhere. I've never driven. I wasn't sure I was even going in the right direction.
I'm not even kidding when I say it was like Peter's peanut patch.
She caught me She caught me. I did like the back roads, when just our country roads where where there are no street lights or anything like that coming into town. And I accidentally took like the bypass, like I did an exit too soon. I mean, I was going in the right direction, but I was losing service, remember? Because it was such bad cell service.
I remember. Oh my God.
Tia, did I send a picture or it was one of the peanut, y'all. Like, so she was like, pull over. And I was like, into what? The ditch? Like, there's nothing here. I had to pee. I had to TT so bad. It was awful. And then I got to the house and I did stop because I came in. Remember, I did stop at the gas station because I literally was like, because I was like, I was like, we're about to have an accident and I'm too old to have an accident. And so I did stop, but y'all, that was awful. And those dang cicadas, that was that summer that they were so, like I couldn't even, and then I'm at this like gas station up on a hill that looks like it comes out of a horror film. And you ever do the TT dance where you are dancing hard so that like you can't, like if I move in one direction, this random.
Oh my God, she did take the scenic route. It was.
Oh my God.
Why are you off 95? Why? Then I go down there for the first time, and did I go down for Christmas the first time? I went down for New Year's Eve.
I had to ask her to slow down. I was like, can you just give it? She was like, are you high? She's like, no, I have to pee. And so
it's like, no. Did you meet Peter? Oh my God, it was so funny. So I'm like half an hour away and I'm talking to her on the phone and I'm like, hey, I'm like 30 minutes out. She's got a shower, right? She's like, well, I need to get in the shower. Well, let's get on it, Missy, because this bitch is rolling on through. I'm still on the phone with her when I walk in the door. And she's like, she literally says to me, can you slow down? No. No. I made it in 5 hours. And she's like, I left at 6 and I got down there right at 11.
You know how that is sometimes, like it's just 10 times easier to wait till later to leave till after the traffic and just be able to boom all the way through. Supposedly.
There was nothing. It was December. It was on the road. I flew down there. She's like, I'm so mad at you. I've never made that time. So then next time I came down in August, right after Rachel, because we just started working on Rachel.
Mm-hmm. And that's where we have our like the same notebooks and stuff because we went.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was right after Rachel. I came down that August.
Yeah.
And I
no
made
problem.
Time again.
Yeah. No bigs. And I was like, I'm really starting to resent this a little bit. I'm telling you, it's just like I'm cursed with that. I mean, if you even bypass like the spot Slovenia and all that, like Fredericks, where there's really no traffic, but for some odd reason there's traffic. And I do prefer doing the 295 around Richmond because it kind of breaks up my route. And I just like it because I like going over the bridges and stuff too. But so I do that. And then, but when the last time I did it, I went straight through Richmond. But you make 10 times more. Like 10, swear to God, Tia could come pick me up and bring me up there probably faster than I could get up there myself. And that is just based on my luck alone.
What told you to stop for peanuts?
I didn't stop for peanuts. I had to give her like how did we figure out the
literally calling her? She can't answer because she doesn't have service. And I'm screaming, I'm texting her going, why the F are you in the middle of a peanut patch? In the middle of North Carolina. What are we doing?
I'm like, it's literally like a family home, that's sitting, you'll know those roads, and it's just like that ranch style house
dirt road, Bob's road. That's what I kept saying. Are you
I was
Bob's?
like, this is why I have deer whistles on my car too, because this is where I was like, I'm gonna hit a deer or something. But no, and y'all were I don't think I could, because I called you once I got to the intersection right there, like where the Bojangles, because I could finally call you then, and then she was about to like rip my head apart. That's the only time that
so worried because I couldn't hear. I didn't hear from her, and all I see is when she's in the middle of a patch. Somewhere.
She was like packing me down, and she's like, "Where the hell is this place?" And I was like, "I don't know, some local. I don't know. They've got a lot of pine straw too. Do you want some of the pine straw? Or do we want peanuts?"
That was the other thing.
Got mad at me, and then the other time that she got mad at me was when I went outside when we had like an
serial killer,
shooter out, and I left something in the car. And let me just tell you, all Tia said, she was like, seriously, don't even worry about that person, like anything like him harming you. I'm gonna kill you. Like she was like, we're done. I was in so much trouble that night. I was
so mad because she ran out without her phone.
Because it was.
Please don't run outside right now when there's an active shooter out there. That's just not smart. And she says, I'll be fine. I said, well, just take your phone, make sure, and let me know when you're back in the house. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Don't even freaking worry about that guy.
Yeah.
You're fine. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. She was like, that person is the least of your worries now.
That's exactly what I said.
Don't even worry about him getting you. Because she was like, no, I'm going to.
Yeah. When she finally answered, I said, that guy that's outside, the active shooter? I said, he's the least of your problems. I'm going to kill you. Yeah. She goes, I left my phone. I forgot.
And then I left a bag in the car. I think was I coming back in from Maryland? When was that? Because remember, I came in, or was I coming back from? Yeah, and the cops were out because I didn't know. Oh, I was coming. And that's why. And so I did have a real reason that I did have to get out to my car because I left something and but
she had important stuff in the car and she had to go get it. But at the same time, I'm like, really? Can you just take your damn phone and let a bitch know that you're okay? Because if you're, oh my God. Wow.
But now this is someone who is always, just so y'all know, she's also the one, she is good at keeping in touch and stuff, but like call anytime, like when things are going on. No. She used to answer sometimes, not anymore. My new emergency contact number is 1-800-FLOWERS because you at least forget a recording. You're going to hear a voice on the other end of that phone. And how many there was one night that was actually kind of bad, and you woke up the next morning and were like,
Oh, I felt terrible.
oh yeah, that was a bad night. But needless to say, so I have been up there and I will do it. I unfortunately Tia's just been better about having to come here recently, which I thoroughly enjoy. But I do love going up there, but I just have some circumstances that aren't making it as easy for me to go.
Well, it'll happen. We'll get it all together,
Yeah.
and we'll get the discovery, and we'll fill in the puzzle pieces that we don't have, and we still get to do all the fun things. And like I said, Delana has us. Listen, let me also state for the record here that LFT and I do not run this channel. If you think that we're in charge, you are seriously mistaken. Delana and Wheel B are in charge. They run things for us. Literally. What are you working on? I don't know, Delana. I'm not sure. Well, I have something for you. Get on it. And she is so good about keeping us focused and checking in. And Wheel B is so great at taking care of us. And, you know, we call him the boss man because he really does. I'm not kidding. Like, he checks on us, and you guys haven't been live in a long time. Why? Get it together, girls. You need to go live. And it's just, you know, we have it good. Kez is the original, the OG mod of our channel. She was the first mod that we had on our channel. She is the person that's been here the longest.
Oh my God, do you remember back in the day when we first started? Like,
oh God, you think we're messy now? We had no idea what we were. Go watch the old videos.
We were, well, not only that, but we had every opportunity all the time. But we were both. I used to have this quality about me, like I wanted to be able to answer anything, be able to flip an answer, like, okay, what if they say this and we know this and they question it this way, and then literally everyone's like, all right, there goes the boat, all right, you're on the dock, and the boat just goes by, because we just spent so much time working and researching.
Because we like to research. We like to research. We don't necessarily, I don't enjoy going live. I'm not good at it. I don't love it. But I love to get into the work and research, and I love to dig into things and come up with, you know, like she said, 6 different answers to the same question. We're just going to have to, you know, like if someone asks you a question, we want to have not only the right answer, we want to have the backup work. We want to have the backup work. We want to show you how we got the backup work. And this is solved and done, and we're still researching.
I mean, we've got so much on it, and then our great friends like Kez and another dear friend of ours at the time too. She'd be like, "That's so great," but it's like y'all are just waving to the boat as it goes by. Like everyone's doing the live on it. You know the stuff. Y'all are on the dock, but it's like, hold on, I forgot. Like I gotta grab another life jacket, or I want a water bottle, or did we remember this? And then our friends like, all right, we'll just wave to it because it's gone now. Like,
yeah, you guys, you totally missed that boat. You missed that opportunity. It's gone. Yep. Okay. Well,
so we're trying to be better. I think she does too, Tweener. And
I don't feel like
I think a live sometimes easier just to spark up and do real fast and like talk something out. I know.
See, Delana, she finds these amazing cases that have like a gazillion things to research. Like you'll find one case and then there'll be like 18 other cases involved in it. That's Delana with the cases. Like she knows what we like. So she's like, okay, I'm going down this rabbit hole. I've been down it. I need you to come with me because I need somebody to talk to about this. And I love that about her. And also I want to say something to Delana that she's had a lot going on. If you guys would please send her some love. She lost a dear friend recently, and she could use your prayers too.
And look at her.
She prays for everyone else. She takes care of everyone else. And it would really mean the world to me if everyone kind of showed her some love. Yeah, she does bring snacks and adult beverages, but she deserves the love. She is such a good friend to not just us, but many people. And she suffered a great loss. And we just want to acknowledge that and tell you that we love you. We love your family, and we hope that you're okay. Things are different today, and we want to be there for you because you've been there for us.
Yes.
Justice will be served there too. I promise you.
Look who you're talking to. You know we got your back.
Mm-hmm. And if we got to look into it, we're your girls.
That's what I was thinking. But no, that just a little, trying to bring a little levity. But yes. But that's what's so amazing about her, is that she's so great, even with so much going on herself. And but I do think Jillian is one that she really does enjoy supporting and helping other people too. And so she's got it down to a science, but she's wonderful at it. And
she lost a friend, and she was checking on us.
Yeah.
She was worried about me at the trial. She was worried about LFT. Are you guys okay? What are you doing? We're supposed to be working with, we're supposed to be checking on you, madam.
Actually, now I feel even worse because Delana, my message, I was supposed to wash my face last night and get back. And I'm such a POS because I didn't mean to forget, and I just forgot. And it's been a lot, but you're on my heart. You're in my heart and on my mind. And you know,
we love you, and we are there for you.
Yeah.
And we want to be there for you. And if there's anything that we can do, you know, you're going to call us, and we're going to talk. We're going to get together this week, and we are going to work things out so that whatever you need is taken care of.
Oh God. And if we keep her sane, if this does, that's frightening.
She keeps us sane. Look at that face. Is she not gorgeous? God, she's beautiful. As beautiful as she is on the outside, she is on the inside. And if you ever see her in chats and stuff, tell her hi, because she's amazing. And there's my tomboy charm.
She's supposed to be asleep.
She's another one who hasn't felt well, and she's been checking on me and making sure, you know, I got a message in the middle of the night last night, just sending you love, thinking about you. And it's like, shut up. You're supposed to be asleep. You don't feel good. You know, we don't deserve the friends that we have. And I'm very, very blessed. And I always say this, and if you've been around long enough, you know that I always say that nobody has it like I do with the friends. You don't have it like I do, because I really does have the best friends.
Got a ton of friends. Like, I've never seen someone that
I have the best friends. And I'm so lucky. And now I get to add to that friend group, and that's a real blessing. So I know.
Well, I pinned that. Yep. And I pinned that earlier when you said it too. I didn't know that you had said that. I did see you say that earlier too. So
she did. She always checks on me. Punksy checks on me. I just shift. Ooh, that's gonna make me cry. I can't cry again. Shifty. Just.
Oh wait. Dawn, are there new ones?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Hold on.
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I'll have to check.
I'm looking. Sorry, I'm sitting on the couch with the laptop on my lap, so I don't have both screens up. So just give me 1 second.
Oh no. Actually, you want to end it, and oh God. I turned on the 11. Oh, it's on. Oh, yeah, it is 11 o'clock, isn't it?
It's on. Okay. I didn't hear us. I know he's staying because he was messaging me going, "Where's Tia?" And I was like, "She's in her car." I was like, "Girl's in her car." And I was like,
"Man, I didn't want to be a. I want to be a pest. family time. Oh, him and Aaron. Oh God, I love her so much. She's so beautiful. She's another one inside and out. Her and Dave, I just respect so much, but I'll check it. Thank you for telling me, Donna. And like I said, Nicole, I'm dead serious. I am dead ass serious. We are going to get together, us girls. We're going to have lunch. There's no time limit this time. We don't have to be back in court. We can just chat. And I think that'll be really fun. Hi, princess.
She actually watching Tia try to manage like the running around. Like looking back on it now, I can kind of giggle a little bit because it'd be funny. And then we've been up early, and then if I've had appointments and stuff, and it was like if I go, I take what the iPad goes, the phone, the extension cord, and the charger. So I could do just. And then Tia's like, it's lunch. And I was like, I know where we're going. And I'm like, are we there yet? And then she was like, I'm going to kill this person can't drive.
Oh, I'm screaming at people.
And what was the other morning? The other day, I was like, you are a ball of sunshine.
She did say that to me yesterday.
What was that? Was that yesterday or was that?
Rachel Morin. God, I love that. You know, I'm not going to lie. I'm never going to get tired of seeing him in handcuffs. I'm never going to get tired of it. I'm going to love that shit.
I hope he doesn't get tired of it because he don't have much of a choice. There's people today that were driving. That was crazy. I will say that the one that swerved out.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. But I hear that, oh, my God. Or like, oh, my God. Every time she's in the car. Could someone does something like she's
it's crazy. People are crazy around me. I think they see my car and they're like, Target. It's white. It's big. Hit that car. And I'm like, don't hit that car. I like my car.
I don't know, but it's funny. Because I know Matt stayed because he wanted to watch the press conference and
I wanted to give that space and some time, and I'm not going to bug him tonight. I'm not going to bug him tomorrow, but eventually I'll bug him and make sure he's okay. And if you guys see him around, throw him some love. You know, he doesn't come on very often. I don't think he's going to be on YouTube much. But if
he doesn't like a lot of attention, does not like a lot of attention, but just kind of give him a pat on the back or just a fist. Even if you pass him in town, just a shake of the hand.
Or if you're friends with them on Hi Willow's Trials. Thank you for coming in. If you're friends with them on Facebook, show them some love there. Just be kind. That's all. Just throw them some cool love, you know. I need to go wash my face and maybe shower. I don't even know what I want to do.
I need to shower, but I don't even have the TV on. I have nothing. It's just the laptop literally on my lap.
I think it's one of those, you know what? It's funny that you said that.
She wants to go to the trail with you one day.
Oh, I would love that, Missy. Oh, I would love that. I really would. It's one of those, like, I think I'm losing my voice too. I think I'm going to just sit in my office. This office is a disaster. If you saw the floor, I come in, we do a live, I leave everything. In the morning, I get ready. Hush up, dog.
Yeah. Not a dog.
Tell him not. I kind of want to sit and say thank you. And this is my favorite when she posts that. I just kind of want to just have a quiet moment and do the damn thing. I don't know. Just relax. Yeah, so we have our glass of wine.
I don't really know if any of us, or especially anyone who's been in that courtroom, at least even this week. But I don't think. No, it's my turn. No.
Do you have things to say? Yeah. Did you miss me? I've been gone a lot. Are you a baby?
Never mind.
Look at him. Look at him. Are you a baby?
It's not a dog.
Are you a dog?
No.
Oh, what is this? What is this? You're a big man. Show him what a big man you are. Come on, tough guy. What do you got going on? Nothing. Are you a baby? What are you smelling? You smell the thunderstorm? Thanks. Don't like dog kisses. All right, you guys. I think I'm just gonna have a moment with LFT, if that's okay with you. And we are gonna show that one. And thank you so much for the support tonight, Pointer. That was so cool. Honestly.
And thank you for helping us meet the goal and for the flower donation for the flowers. That was so kind.
That really was kind, and they will get used for that. Yep. I wanted to mention something. I got a text from somebody really cool today, and I want to do a shout out, but I really want you guys to make sure that you go over to X and follow Kate Amara. Her coverage of Rachel has been incredible, and just she is fun, and I really, really like her. I like her as a person. Forget the fact that she's this amazing newscaster, writer, she's so cool. She is so cool. She is so far beyond cool.
Hold on,
but she's sweet, and she's, as Matt said, she's one of the good ones. And I really want people to support her. So the best way I can think about that is go over to her X and subscribe and say something nice to her. Tell her she did a great job. Thank her for her coverage.
Here, it's Kate Amara. Here you go. I'm putting it in the chat.
She's with WBAL, and it's Kate Amara is her name. She's beautiful. I mean, she's really beautiful. But she show her some love. She did great. And I just, I like to support strong women. She's a strong woman, and she's classy. And go over and show her some love. Say something nice. Like I said, tell her she did a great job.
Y'all had a few, like Kate definitely, that's the first one that has been like that we kind of, or that you've gotten to know and stuff. But I will say y'all have no idea how much time I've spent on social media this week, keeping an eye on things. There were a good handful of couple locals that were
Baltimore Banner.
Yeah, that Baltimore Dylan oh gosh, his last name starts with an S. Please forgive me. I don't know. He was doing great. Blair.
What we're going to do is we will do a post. We'll do a post tomorrow with some people that we would really love to support. Yes, I will. Sorry. I love my tomboy charm. We're going to do a post tomorrow of people that we love and want to support. Go support them too. Go support them too. Listen, we had a hell of a day, and we don't get these days very often. So let's just relish in it. Everybody just say a prayer of thanks today. And I want to thank my girls in court, and I really do. When I say I love you, it's only been a week. I know it's too soon, but I really do. Donna, you were my first. You were my first friend. And you took care of me, and you were the one who needed taking care of. And thank you. And Nicole and Missy, thank you. Thank you for supporting us. Missy, I want you to start that channel so we can support you. And Nicole, we're going to lunch soon, sister. I'll come up there. I don't care. Like I said, I just want to hang. All right, you guys, it is time for us to call it and go to bed. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for supporting us. It's not over. We still have things to talk about. We have things to do. We have things to show you from the trial. We're going to do that. And we're going to do it.
There you
go. Oh, I love you. We are going to, there's my tomboy China. I love you. Princess Lena, this is your new home. I feel a lot of love in here, and I feel very blessed tonight. And I just want to have that moment to thank God. And I want to have that moment to feel that peace for just a few, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, Missy, thank you. And I hope everything's working out with your dad and stuff. LFT sent me the message, and oh, you did? Okay. I will check.
It's way too quiet over here right now on my end.
Oh, okay. I got it, Delina.
I got it.
Have a great night. And thanks, Princess. I know we love you too. We'll probably go live. I don't know if we will tomorrow or not. We might. Actually, there's a fair good chance of it. We're in the habit now, so there's no reason to stop. But
I know, really. What about if we fall out of the algorithm again? That's a hard tree to try to climb back up. The algorithm was like, "Who is this? Look who's making their way back in here."
I know. So maybe we'll go live tomorrow and just shoot the shit and talk about things and do a question answer, and I don't know, just maybe research live. But I want everyone to have a good night. I want everyone to get some rest. Yep. Yes, it is.
Yep.
Yes, it is. But thank you so much for the love and support.
Yes. And
I don't say that lightly. I really, from the bottom of my heart, mean it. Thank you, LFT, for all the work you've done. And she's really, you guys have no idea. Someday I'll tell you. It's a lot. But thank you for everything. And I hope you guys have a great night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Q&A would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. I would love to do that. And I want to learn about you guys too.
Oh, we're talking like a Q&A, like, okay, like just free for all Q&A?
Whatever we can do. Okay. We can do cases. We can do whatever we want. Because you know what? Delina said so.
Can we do that game one night with Kate again where we draw the pictures?
Yes. That was fun. Ooh, yes. We need to have Kate on for that. Yes.
We need a night like that.
Exhale is right. Exhale is right. All right, you guys, have a good one. We will catch up with you tomorrow. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all, and go enjoy your nights as well and get some rest. And everyone stay healthy and be kind. And then Tia can finish out the rest. And then she'll say bye like she talks to me now. It's like do it.
Have a good night, you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.